Call this meeting to order. At this time, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Noel if she would lead us in the pledge and invocation if she so desires.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and just God, who we gather here seeking your guidance. Help us to remain fair and impartial, Lord, in our deliberations. Fill us with wisdom and understanding so that our decisions will reflect justice and equity for all, Lord. May our efforts serve the common good and honor and trust placed in us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman. Mr. Attorney, would you like to join us?
Yes, sir. Love to be here. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, Council, looking over your agenda for this evening, we have several items under final reading, one under finance, and several under planning. Any questions or comments under any of our items for final reading?
Chair, I'm trying to get my screen.
You're not working? There we go. Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I ask, there's an item B under economic development, actually, that involves the Trust for Public Land. And I was wondering if we could get a little bit more. Is Scott, are you here?
Now, are you, oh, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
You're under resolutions.
I am, sir. I am
Okay,
under resolutions.
we hadn't quite got there yet, but
I'm trying to be efficient, sir.
you are.
You know me.
Let us get there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We were covering items under final reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Under planning, and then we have a couple of items under planning first reading. Do we have any questions or comments under first reading planning items? Councilwoman Noel. I think I somehow.
Oh, that's okay. You want me to do it again?
Yes, please. All right.
Is that it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So yes, item 8B for me. So that is going to be a robust discussion this evening. So
Okay.
I just want everybody to put on their seatbelts
All right.
and be ready on that.
Thank you for the notice.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
On the first reading, planning A, I'll be recusing myself from the vote.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilman Hester.
This is also related to 8A. I was unsuccessful in reaching out to the folks that were developing that. So I might extend this for another week. 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. We'll,
I shall extend it for 2 weeks.
okay. Well, you shall make the motion to extend it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We shall extend it. Maybe. Yeah, well, thank you for that clarification, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Any other items under first read planning that would need to be brought to our attention? Okay, Councilman Ledford, we are now ready for resolution, sir.
Well, I appreciate that, Chairman. Councilman Hester, if you don't mind, this is in your district, and I would love to hear more about what the Trust for Public Land and our Parks and Outdoors Department is collaborating on. If Scott, and I think Noel's here too. There he is. I didn't get to say thank you last week for Trust for Public Land's incredible work on the Ryle Springs project in District 4. So let me say thank you on that note.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'd be happy to turn the floor over to Noel in 1 second, but I'll set this up. This is pretty neat and pretty cool, if I can say it from this chair. when you adopted the Parks and Outdoors plan, you said work the plan. This is how we work the plan. And one of the plan's big moves is equity in the outdoors. Very rarely can American cities bring equity in outdoor adventure to an urban center the way we can here. So I'll have Noel move through this, y'all, but this is the art of the possible stuff that I'll argue to my dying breath is uniquely possible here in Chattanooga because of where we sit. So I'll let Noel do the thing. I did the Baptist minister thing.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's been a real honor and pleasure for the Trust for Public Land to work alongside the city of Chattanooga for the last 30 years. And one of the hallmarks of our partnership is strategic land acquisition. And as you consider the purchase and sale agreement this evening, it's a reflection of how Trust for Public Land works alongside municipalities like the city of Chattanooga, alongside willing sellers, and alongside community members. And this opportunity to create a new access point on South Chickamauga Creek is a reflection of community interest and drive to see better access, better clean water access. It has immense strategic alignment with the Parks and Outdoors plan, and kudos to Scott and his team for very clearly laying out prioritization around what clean water access, what blue ways mean for residents, and residents responding to that in kind through the POP process. And as you adopted the POP last year, we got to work alongside Scott's team, looking at where are those priorities for land acquisition that accomplish early goals, early priorities for the Parks and Outdoors plan. Where are there landowners willing to sell or donate those parcels? And where is there a pathway for funding to advance these initiatives? And we are so thrilled to have had strong advocacy from local representation on the state of Tennessee's Heritage Conservation Trust Fund. That is a fund that was recapitalized by Governor Lee in last year's budget. And we presented this opportunity to the Heritage Conservation Trust Fund, and would like to thank Larry Zender as our local representative on the trust fund for his advocacy. The state has awarded $168,000 towards the purchase price of the nearly 1.5 acres of canoe launch site on Shallowford Road. And it's a testament to the state's shared passion for clean water access. And what that does is it creates a really strong lever for the city of Chattanooga's capital commitment for this, for the reimbursement of due diligence costs. And as of right now, we're under option. And if council adopts the resolution to execute the purchase and sale agreement, the property will come into the city's ownership, and we can create a new public access point on South Chickamauga Creek. There's a couple of other key lever arms that I do want to mention in this as well, and that is Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Their interest in creating better access through infrastructure in-kind support. So TWRA's team will be working alongside Parks and Outdoors to create the launching infrastructure on this property, which is very valuable. They can move as fast as their team allows. They have a team that do this very thing across the state. As well as I want to thank Moccasin Bend and Public Works to also evaluate improving water access upstream. So there is a sewer line that impedes safe rivercraft access on the levee section, and the evaluation and commitment to create portage access there is also very motivating for the state of Tennessee, who likes to see very strong leverage when they invest Heritage Conservation Trust funds. Again, Trust for Public Land could not thank City Council and City leadership more for their commitment to advancing close to home access to the outdoors, be it nearby streams, parks, trails. And this is another example of how our partnership as a national conservation organization working alongside a high capacity municipality can achieve longstanding goals for our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Noel. I'm going to defer to Councilman Hester. Chairman, thank you.
Councilman Hester.
I just want to just thank you guys for what you do. It's just a hidden jewel for the city of Chattanooga. That area back there, man, it is beautiful. It's a place everyone should explore. You have an opportunity. I can't wait till we have the access to the canoes over there and all that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Councilman Hester. This stretch, the 4-mile stretch from the Shallowford Road property to Sturkey Farm floats past through one of the most scenic stretches of South Chickamauga Creek in its
Right.
watershed. And you'll be floating past the recently completed elevated boardwalk on the Greenway. It's going to create a very unique paddling experience for Chattanoogans and visitors alike.
Yeah, we've never had anything like this. I know we're nerding out. This is a 4-mile paddle, which means you can do it in an afternoon. What it also means is our community centers are now part of the solution, because we can take kids after school, put them in a boat, put them in the water, they flip over, they'll be able to stand up. This isn't like something scary like the Tennessee, and get them back home. And there's a certain council member who's sitting to my right, who when I interviewed for the job said I owed her a paddling trip. I plan on making good on that promise as we get this open, Councilmember Coonrod. So we're excited, and this shows you the power of acquisition funds and the importance of acquisition funds in a growing community like ours. These opportunities slip by unless we can move quickly, swiftly, and with purpose. And once they're gone, they're gone. Thanks to these guys, we got her done. $40,000 from the city for 4.5 miles of floating. You can't beat that price tag.
Right.
I don't see any other lots. Scott, what about parking?
Yeah, the site does include parking spaces as well. We think we can get somewhere, don't hold me to this, 12 to 20 vehicles in there on a gravel lot.
Okay, all right, good. I see no other lots. Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, anything else under resolutions? Economic Development, Finance, Fire, Office of Community Health. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Under resolutions, it looks like D&E related to the sculpture fields at Montague Park. I had a question. I don't know who might be able to clarify this. Scott, you're probably back up. Going over the diagram that was attached to both of these items, it looks like the 1,069 square feet might be, is it a swap so that they can get the completion of the other angle of the field? Is that what that was for?
You just said it. When we did the new Montague Park plan, we shifted the full-size field for CFC closer to the Armory. That required them to push up into the sculpture
Okay.
field. So this is a flip that will allow this full-size pitch to go in there. And that full-size pitch is lacrosse, field hockey, soccer. It's the big one.
Glad you pointed that out. I'll expect to see some striping to match that comment when the fields are done.
You can talk to Mr. Brock about that. I'll be happy to share the number.
I'm pretty sure that when we approved this originally,
Yes.
that is part of the condition, so I expect that they will be
Absolutely.
there. One question in addition to that, again, on the diagrams, it says proposed lease line. But I didn't see any language accepting that as the lease line. Do we need to do that?
We're just waiting for y'all to grant the approval. I'll reconfirm it, but both parties have signed off to the agreement and the swap. I believe proposed was for your consideration, but let me clarify that.
I just want to make sure that
Yes,
when if it passes, that is now
Yep.
the line, not a proposed line.
Yep.
After the fact.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Chair.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under Fire H, Chief, can you come talk a little bit about the port security grant application? I do realize that when I saw the word FLIR, it definitely raised my attention flag. And I believe this has, if I'm reading this correctly and with my experience, this has to do with air monitoring.
Yes, this just kind of complements our hazmat team that was recently state accredited. And our hazmat team and our special ops group, they're just basically an extension of that hazmat team. And they do air monitoring for all of our special events. So anytime we have large crowds to the city, we do air monitoring. Police is usually tasked with security, and then we follow up with all the air monitoring to make sure that there's no release. And then this radiation detection equipment just allows for any kind of suspicious activity that's going on for us just to monitor that in case we need to react or make an evacuation.
So Chief, my question is, looking at the cost, if we did not receive the port security grant, is this something we could chase on our own?
And we have a plan to do that
Okay.
already. So
Awesome.
we typically, we've never applied for a port security grant before. And sometimes we don't hit the markers for such a larger grant populace that hits. But we do have operational funds to pay for that equipment to shore up our hazmat team in the event that we don't get it.
That's fantastic. Chief, thanks for thinking of our safety.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, any other concerns or questions about our resolutions? All All right, before we go into purchasing questions, it has been brought to my attention that I forgot to get approval of the minutes, so with no objections, the minutes will stand as recorded. Thank you, council. Looking at purchasing questions, we do have 5 items for your consideration this week. Any questions or comments about any 5 of the purchasing items? If not, and by the way, we have no next week proposed agenda because we have no meeting next week, so just mark that. Looking ahead to future considerations, there are, however, several items listed for our June 4th meeting. If you want to peruse those and see if you have any questions or comments concerning any of our items under future considerations. All right. I am not seeing any. We have no committee reports this afternoon. So with that, is there anything else that needs to be brought before the council before we go into recess? If not, we'll take a brief 30-minute recess, reconvene at 4:15.